Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will pick up with chapter 48, verse 8. We began this yesterday. There's an Orach Chaim here on the pasuk. Yaakov sees Yosef's sons. He says, "Who are these people?" Sort of a little surprising. They're your grandsons. You've been interacting with them for years. So the first thing the Orach Chaim does is he quotes the Medrash Rashi quotes, which is that he's actually not asking about the grandson standing in front of him. He's asking about descendants from these people. He got some type of inspiration that there would be people who did wicked things that would descend from Ephraim, and Menashe was very disturbed by that. That's a medrash. And now the Orach Chaim continues. It's about 4 lines in. V'tzarich lefarish hakasav kifi pshuto. But one could also explain the pasuk on a more straightforward way. For who? Ki gila lanu hakasav sheyakov kavdu einav mizoken. We're being told that Yaakov's eyes, he didn't see well anymore. He wasn't able to easily recognize things. He had been talking to Yosef. He recognized Yosef. He sees 2 other people. Says the Orach Chaim, by the way, who says he would have even recognized Yosef? They came in and they told him, your son Yosef is here. So of course he knew it was Yosef. There are 2 other people. He can't see well. He wouldn't tell who anybody was. That's why he asked, who are these people? It gives more of a context for what happens later when Yosef steps forward to switch his hands, because he put his right hand on the younger son. You could appreciate a little bit more why Yosef would do that. Yosef comes forward to do that. And then Yaakov says, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. Thank you. Well, it makes perfect sense that Yosef would need to do that, because maybe Yaakov is confused as to who's who. It's clear from the earlier part of the story that he's not seeing them well. Od efsher sh'neskavim Yaakov la'orer avas ha'aval abein kodem shivarchim. There's a completely different possibility, says the Orach Chaim, that Yaakov was trying to arouse a sense of affection of father for son. So that before he gives the bracha, there'd be a great feeling of affection as he's giving the bracha. That will only make the bracha more powerful. So he knew who they were, according to this, says the Orach Chaim. Maybe he knew who they were. He just wanted to hear his own son say, these are my children. And he thought that when he would hear that, that would arouse an even greater sense of affection within his heart, and that would make the bracha more potent. So we have sort of the midrashic possibility, the very, very straightforward possibility, just he didn't see well. And then this third possibility that he was saying this kind of created a back and forth to arouse a greater sense of affection for his grandsons right before the bracha. Verse 9, Vayomer Yosef Elaviv. So again, the question had been, who are these people? So now Yosef responds, they are my children that God gave to me in this. What does that mean? The children given by God, that's certainly true. What's the this part, in this? Vayomar, and then Yaakov responds, bring them close to me and I'll give them a bracha. Ramban on Pasuk Tes. Asher nasan li elokim bozeh. Loya Yosef tzarich lo dia lo aviv ki Mitzrayim noldu lo. This is the second strange thing. What? He needs to tell them that they were born in Egypt. If he can't see who they are, so you say they're my children. Okay, does Yaakov not realize when Yosef had children? They're my children that were born in Egypt. Right. I mean, Yosef left the land of Canaan when he was a young single man, and then years later they're reunited. Yeah, I mean, presumably Yaakov figured out at some point or another that his children were born in Egypt. Why does he have to say these are my children that were born in Egypt? When he was separated from his father, he had neither a wife nor children. By the way, earlier in their exchange, Yaakov says to Yosef, your two children that have been born to you in Egypt. So it's already come up in conversation that he said two children in Egypt. So now Yosef says, yeah, my two children have been born here. V'nirali ki perish pazeh be'inyan hazeh she'amarta shenastam li Hashem kodem bo'acha elei Mitzrayma. V'hema she'amarta le'em she'em l'cha. They were talking in previous psukim about the fact that they've been reunited in Egypt. So Yosef says to Yaakov, yeah, these children that I have, this is part of the story that we've been talking about. You were talking about, we became reunited in Egypt. Yes, these children, they were born to me before our reunion. That's just pshat, what the Ramban is saying. But it's not that he's giving him factual information that he didn't know. He's just sort of like bringing it into the context of their discussion. That's what the Ramban says. The Or HaChaim says something very simple and very nice that fits with the Ramban. The Or HaChaim in Pasuk Tes, Derech HaTzadikim, Kishezochrim HaTov, Asher Yigiam Cholkim Kavod Hashem. The way of pious people is when they remember something good that's happened in their lives, they give gratitude to God for it. You are no sin. In other words, Yosef could have just responded to Yaakov, yeah, they're my children. But that's not what he said. He said, they're my children, which God has given me, who God has given me. Because that's how a pious person looks at every blessing in his or her life. This is what the gift given by God. By the way, says the Or HaChaim, when Yaakov and Esav have their reunion, Esav says, who are all these people? And Yaakov says, these are the children that God bestowed upon your servant. Same thing. He could have said, this is my family, these are my kids. But for the same price, you could say these are the children that are gifts of God. Of course, thinking about the Ramban and the Or HaChaim together, the point seems to be a very meaningful one, which is, this is remarkable. Who would have thought I would have even survived? And some way, somehow, God allowed me to build a family here in Egypt. So I think it's just interesting to think about. Okay, let's go on to verse 16. Yaakov is now conveying a bracha to Yosef, and he says to him, Hamalach hagoel osi kol ra, the angel who redeems me, protects me from all bad. Yivarechas hana'arim, he should bless the boys. V'koivem shmi v'shem avosai Abraham Yitzchak, he should bestow upon them my name Yaakov and the names of my fathers Avram and Yitzchak. V'yitgu l'rov b'kerev haaretz, and they should become, they should multiply like fish among the land. Okay. What does it mean that he should call upon them by name? Presumably, the basic idea is the angel should always look in a positive way towards all of the family, all of these children, particularly these children standing in front of me, in the merit of myself and my father, my grandfather. That's presumably the most straightforward pshat. Kli Yakar has a very interesting idea about this. Kli Yakar on Pasuk Tesayin, V'korivem shmi v'shem avosai, Shikari lahem kol ma shemore alav shmi v'shem avosai. Everything that's indicated within my name and the names of my father and grandfather, all of those things should be evoked on the children. Kishem Yisrael, Hashem Kisarisoy Melukim V'Manashim. Why does Yaakov receive the name Yisrael? Because he's considered to be capable in grappling, successful in grappling with divine beings and with men. Kach yet Sadik Moshe B'Yiras Hashem. So if I'm given credit, if part of my name was giving me credit for my spiritual successes, so the children should be successful in their spiritual struggles. V'Yakov Hashem Ekev Rav Tov Hatzofon Latzadikim. One of the many ideas about the name Yaakov is it connotes something that comes at the end, that it connotes the idea of great blessing that is waiting for the pious. they should merit great blessing. Maybe it'll be hidden for a period of their lives, but they should ultimately reach it. Ki tamid reshisam mitzar b'acharisam yishkem ba'od. That things have a way of starting off very narrow and complicated, and as things progress, things seem to get better. That should be for them. The Avraham, Hashem Avamon Goyim. Avram's name was changed to Abraham because he's like a master, a father over all the nations. Kach Yarosh l'chol umos. The children should be on top of the world. V'yitzchak targumo v'chadei. The meaning of the word Yitzchak is to rejoice. Kach tamid asimcha b'monim. They should always live with simcha, with happiness. So very interesting pshat the Kli Yakar. So he's saying that there's a message behind all of their patriarchs' names, and these messages should all be blessings for these children. Just interesting pshat. Okay. Moving on to verse 17. So he's giving these very nice brachos. And now, Vayar Yosef Kyoshis Aviv Yadimino Rosh Ephraim, Vayera Beinav. Yosef sees that his father Yaakov placed his right hand on Ephraim's head, and that was bad in his eyes because Ephraim is the younger sibling. So the right hand is the stronger hand. It's more appropriate for the right hand to go on the older child's head. So Yosef is disturbed by this. So Yosef tries to kind of push Yaakov's hand over to the other son, and then Yaakov responds, "I know exactly what I'm doing. Thank you very much." This language of Vayera Beinav is kind of strong. Vayera Beinav means it was bad in Yosef's eyes, right? I mean, all the time we have circumstances where someone, presumably Yosef thinks that Yaakov is making a mistake. So, I don't know, it happens all the time. A person calls someone by the wrong name, a person goes to the wrong door. I don't know. Is it bad in your eyes? No, you just want to correct them maybe, but what's the language of it being bad in his eyes? Ramban and Pasuk Yud Zayin. Ula Yosef haya oeves Menashe Yosir. Bavur hayoso b'chor. Lachein charlo. Interesting pshat for the Ramban to say. Maybe Yosef favored Menashe. Menashe is his oldest. Maybe he had great affection for him. So he actually was angered by it. That it was more than just, oh, Dad, you mixed it up. No, it annoyed him because he had greater affection for Menashe than Ephraim, maybe. But the Ramban says, what I think the pshat is, he thought his father was getting mixed up as to who was who. He thought his father thought he was putting the right hand on the older child because he thought that was Menashe over there, but it really was Ephraim over there. If Yaakov is thinking this is Menashe and I'm giving him this bracha, so if it's not with focus, maybe the bracha won't take effect on him. Because it's not with the proper divine focus, clarity. So it's disturbing to Yosef because he wants the bracha to be potent, and he's worried that Yaakov is getting them mixed up, and maybe the bracha won't take effect in that way. So it's very upsetting to him, not being critical of his father, just this is important to him. But then his father said, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know this is Ephraim over here, but I intend that he should get the primary bracha. Okay, so he knows what he's doing. As long as he knows who's who, then Yosef is satisfied. So we discussed some ideas this morning as to why Yaakov is asking who these children are. We discussed the idea of what Yosef means, why he needs to say, these are the children that were born to me here. We discussed the Kli Yakar regarding the significance of the names, that the names should be called upon them. And we discussed the Ramban as to why Yosef was bothered that his father had mixed up the hands. Okay.